so blindly we hate at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes in bright stars through the perilous fight. Oh, the ramparts we watched were so gallantly straight, and the rockets ran the bombs bursting in air, came through the night. The Iron flag was still there. Oh, sailors as sun sprang the banner yet wave o'er the land, the surrender the fray. In the
Okay, if you have children, shouldn't be reading this. And right now, if you're watching on YouTube, I'm about to direct you exclusively to Rumble/Mug Club because they don't want this heat. Manifesto. Dark Abyss, Death Day, March 27th, 2023. Today is the day, yes. The day has finally come. I can't believe it's here. Don't know how I was able to get this far, but here I am. I'm a little nervous, but excited too. Been excited for these past 2 weeks. There were several times I could have been caught, especially back in the summer of 2021. None of that matters now. I'm almost an hour plus 7 minutes away. Can't believe I'm doing this, but I'm ready. I hope my victims aren't. My only fear is if anything goes wrong, I'll do my best to prevent any of the sort. God, let my wrath take over my anxiety. It might be 10 minutes tops. It might be 3 to 7. It's gonna go quick. I hope I have a high death count. Ready to die. Ha ha. Signed, Aiden. Next page. Audrey. Kill those kids. 3 exclamation points. Those crackers. Going to private fancy schools with those fancy khakis and sports backpacks with their daddies, Mustangs, and convertibles. Fuck you little shits. I wish to shoot you weak-ass dicks with your mop yellow hair. Wanna kill all you little crackers again. Bunch of little faggots with your white privileges. Fuck you, faggots. Then we have the schedule. Death Day, 6:30, desired. It's covered by a sticky note, 7 a.m., get dressed, 7:05 to 8:55. It says, with stuffed animals plus possessions, 9 a.m., eat breakfast at home. The home is encircled in a heart shape. 9:30, pack up special belongings and backpack. Test knife core breaker, leave for Royal Range. Gear up plus setup, guns and trunk. Final videotape, leave for Covenant School. So, the schedule isn't necessarily something I need to go through in detail, but we will provide it for you. I wanted to read it by itself without adding any editorializing. But what sticks out at you? And I get it. The word cracker, generally speaking, we're not offended as white people. But the motive is here. Crackers is mentioned multiple times. White privilege is mentioned. Reviling people who are going to private fancy schools. A Christian fancy school. Their daddy with their Mustangs, convertibles. It's anger. It's hatred for white people of suburbia. Which would mean, hey, that might be an at-risk group. Not only do we have a motive, what stands out to me is we don't just have a motive, but we have a specific motive targeting. We know who was in danger. We know why they were in danger. White privileges. crackers. And of course, this is an insane person. No one is saying that this is not someone who is deeply mentally deranged. Now, I can't say that that's the case because they're transgender, but I'm going to tell you that someone who's concerned about their anxiety when they are about to go and shoot 9-year-old children, that's someone who's been raised in a narcissistic society where everything you want to feel is okay and more important than the greater good.
Yeah.
So there you have it. Welcome to Monday.
Wow.
Show's over. All right, we can go home.
That's a nice, happy way to start. Jeez, oh, man.
Well, there's not a whole lot happy going on. We got war all over the place. You got babies that are going to be killed as of tomorrow. And we got this Nashville shooter manifesto.
You got a new coach for your team, the Guardians.
One, not my team, but never heard of the guy. We'll talk about that, too, at some point today.
Got
what do you
that
think
guy?
about that manifesto?
Oh, look, it's I still have a Twitter account, so I see this stuff every day. It's honestly no different than what I see on Twitter every single day. You know, it's a cesspool right now, man. I know I joke about it all the time that I carry all the time, but it's why I carry all the time. Because eventually I'm going to run into this. And when it happens, I'm not going quietly. And I encourage everybody to do the same. Not go quietly.
Gunnar is right, though. No wonder they hid this. It doesn't fit their narrative. I mean,
Well, that's it. It doesn't fit the narrative.
This is a psychotic, transgender person who hated white Christian kids.
Mm-hmm. Well, and the funny thing is the white hate does fit the narrative. The hating white people is absolutely part of the narrative.
Well, yeah, but usually when it's a hate crime, it's definitely not directed towards white people.
Well, no, they don't consider that a hate crime. It's just a crime.
Now it's not even a hate crime to hate Jewish people, apparently. Now you can hate them all you want, walk around with swastikas and chanting death to Israel and everything else, and that's not a hate crime either. So apparently you have to be a certain color of skin to be able to be considered a hate crime.
Look, the minute that we turned mental illness into a compassionate cause is the minute we lost. And that's what it is. This transgender bullshit is fucking mental illness. I don't give a shit if it gets us kicked off YouTube forever. It is.
It is a mental illness.
It's mental fucking illness. This is proof of it. This is the mindset. And I'm not saying every transgender person is out there looking to kill 9-year-olds.
No.
But I'm saying every transgender person out there is looking to kill the ideas that they're not the minority, they're not the crazy one. Every transgender person I have ever encountered or seen or whatever believes that I owe them something. And this person is just exemplifying it on the narcissistic level, but it's the same thing. We owe that person, and since that person didn't give her, him, whatever, what they wanted, then
what they did was justified.
Yeah, then they're justified to go and kill the kids and hurt people's families for the rest of their lives, and kill kids that don't belong.
You're right. I think it is if you don't follow. Here's the problem. It goes to the entire left agenda, though. If you don't follow their ideals, you're an ass, you're an idiot, you're a racist, you're a homophobe, and you're wrong about everything.
Yeah.
And that's what it is with the transgender thing. And even that's died down a little bit now because we have wars and stuff going on. And there's nobody marching in the streets for transgender. They're marching in the streets for killing Jewish people.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's you follow the agenda or you're wrong and you're a racist, you're a homophobe and everything else.
Look, we had to go no further than this weekend in Washington to see that there's nothing going to be done about criminals. Nothing. They marched on the White House. On the White House. And last time I remember a march on the White House, there's people doing like 30 years in jail over it. But this weekend, I read, I kind of watched it a little bit, and I couldn't help but laughing. They showed all the violence and all the vandalism and everything that was going on in Washington. And then late Sunday, I saw a thing that said 2 people were arrested.
Right.
2.
Yeah, And there were people there literally chanting for the death of an entire race of people.
There were people climbing the walls or the gates of the White House. Why aren't they being shot?
Well, when people tried to do that to Trump, they didn't do anything to him either. I mean, it's okay for them to do it. When the left finds a problem, it's okay for them to go crazy.
Yeah.
But you know what? And this is what I talked about this morning, and I didn't really get to say a lot. I said a little bit on the air with Bob today. But this is what I'm fucking tired of. I am tired of the right. And I know you're not right. You're kind of central.
Yeah, I'm sort of in the middle, wherever.
But I am sick and tired of the people on the right, the conservative groups in this country, waiting for every single committee hearing, for every little T to be crossed, I to be dotted, and everything else, and do things the right way. The left has a really shitty message, but they're really, really good at portraying it and getting it out there. If somebody comes at you with a bat, the only way to fight that off is to get a bigger bat.
Yeah, I agree.
What the left does is they come at you with a bat, and the right side, the conservative side, sits there and goes, please stop. Please stop what you're doing. Don't do that, please, because it's not okay.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the dumbest thing we can do anymore. You have to fight fire with fire. Somebody else said that, they called into the show and said, well, we don't want to stoop to their level. Why not? It's time to stoop to their level. It's time to get down in the dirt, in the mud with the left and start slinging it back.
Yeah.
What are we waiting on? Another committee hearing? Right now, they're prosecuting Donald Trump on 91 different charges. There's evidence of Biden actually doing something wrong, yet the Republicans sit by, well, we're going to do it the right way. We're going to wait and see how these committees go. We're going to do this. Mm-hmm. Fuck that.
Well, the right has proven it's that weird double-edged sword. The right somehow think that they're the side of power because they have the guns, but they don't use their power. So in essence, the guns don't mean anything. When somebody gets in, look, and this is where I stray from the right, far from the right, and far from the left too. If someone gets in my face and starts yelling me down, they're getting a fist. And if that lands me in jail or lands me an assault charge or whatever, they're getting a fucking fist. Because I won't put up with it. At some level, you have to stand up and say, fuck you, this is how it is. And if you don't like it, then you're going to deal with some physical pain. And none of that is ever, the right always wants to talk their way out of it. The left wants to scream their way into it.
Well, and the left is louder at doing it, and they're going to win. The left is going to win if the conservatives don't actually start doing something. Because if you keep sitting by, you keep waiting for committees, you keep waiting for whatever it is that's going on in Washington, for Congress to do this, for the Senate to do that, you're going to lose.
Mm-hmm.
The right on the streets need to stand up and start doing something. I'm not advocating for violence, okay? That's where I differ. But I am advocating for getting in people's faces and saying enough is enough, and people actually doing something for fucking once.
Yeah.
I'm tired of hearing, we got to make a difference at the polls. Well,
yeah, enough with the fucking
anything.
polls. Enough with the polls.
You saw one election stolen. You're going to see it again. You need to get out there and start protesting yourselves. You need to start, when they march on Washington, you need to march on Washington back.
Yeah. And carry. Don't be a pussy. Bring your weapons out. Make them think twice about The reason they don't think twice about yelling, screaming, having violence, spitting in people's faces, whatever, is because they know nobody's going to do something reactionary. Let them be afraid of you. I say that all the time about myself. I'm glad. I know I'm an intimidating person. You've said that yourself on the show.
Yes.
That I am definitely intimidating when you get up on me. I like that. I want that. I want people to not know what's coming. I want people to not be so sure that I won't fucking punch them in the face. Anybody that's against the left message needs to be more involved in that kind of situation. We need a few people to take a few bullets for us here and and not real bullets, but charges, I guess, and knock somebody's fucking face off.
Yeah, I mean, it really is getting to the point where the Republicans don't know what the hell they're doing.
Yeah.
And they look bad. We look bad anymore because we don't know what the hell we're doing. We don't know what we're doing in Congress. We don't know what the hell we're doing on the streets. We don't know. We're letting the left walk all over us, and that's what's going to happen probably tomorrow. And I'm scared about tomorrow. Tomorrow's a big day for voting. And
no, issue 1 is toast.
no, I beg to differ. I really do. I think there's a lot of crazy people out there that think that issue 1.
Oh, they're all going to vote yes, is what I'm saying.
Oh yeah.
They're all going to, dude. I've been meaning to bring this up, and I just have forgotten for the last couple of weeks. I've been watching the last maybe month more like commercial TV than I have watched in eons. And a lot of it is like Pluto or Plex or whatever, the like Barney Miller reruns and stuff like that, old stuff.
Yes.
I'm not watching anything new, but I'm watching this stuff that has commercials in it, right? As of today, I'm yet to see a vote no on issue 1 commercial. But I have seen the vote yes on issue 1, the 10 different versions of it, with the little faggy guy with the little beady glasses, looking like a henpecked husband. I've seen 10 of that guy, and I've seen 10 of the woman with her, her family around her and everything, all telling me that I need to vote yes because we're going to stop the tyranny of Ohio government from, letting rape victims get abortions.
There are so many lies in what the left is pushing when it comes to issue 1. It's unbelievable. I mean, when it comes to 1, reproductive rights. You have the right to reproduce. I hate to tell people, you're fucking dumb if you think that reproductive rights are what is at stake tomorrow. You have the right to reproduce. And the point is, you don't have the right to kill a baby after you reproduce. Now, 1, we do have exceptions in the laws when it comes to rape, incest, and we do have laws that are in place. So if you want to have an abortion, God forbid, but you can do it. When you have sex. I'm pretty sure you know it. And you can go get a test. You can see if you are pregnant, and you can take care of it before it has a heartbeat, before it has a nervous system and feels pain. You can do all that kind of stuff. There are no laws that are going to be in this bill, if it doesn't pass, that says that women can't get care if they need it for different kinds of things, miscarriages and everything else. Those are lies. And people are too dumb to actually do the research and read the bills and understand what is actually going on. They're dumb.
Mm-hmm.
And
I agree that they're
going to go out there and they're going to vote because, they're taking away women's rights. You're an asshole. You're not taking away rights from anybody. You're taking away the rights from a baby. And I got in an argument with somebody just before the show today who was saying, what if the kid is going to be born into a household that's poor and, may not have enough to, look, why don't you take the chance of that kid being successful? Why don't you take the chance of that kid being able to better themselves? Look, we had Tommy Davidson on a couple of weeks ago. The guy was thrown into a fucking garbage can and found by a white family and raised. And you know what? That guy's pretty damn successful.
Yeah.
So you know what? Give the kid a right to live. No, these people think that it's okay. Now all of a sudden we can pick and choose who we want to kill. You know what? There are people living under bridges in the city of Cleveland, old people, young people that really aren't going to have much of a life. We just pick them off and say, this is going to be a waste of a life. Let's just get rid of them. I'm tired of these excuses. You don't want to have don't have sex if you don't want to take responsibility for it.
Well, and the thing is you always have the option to drop the baby off at the hospital or at the fire station. That is an option.
There are always options for you. And yes, you can have sex. And if you want to get an abortion, God forbid, you can get it done. But do it before it has a heartbeat.
I don't know about all that, but I don't
agree with that. That's what I'm saying. The laws are there in place if you want to do that.
I'm fine with abortion up to a point. I'm not fine with abortion as a. I'm not fine with abortion replacing a condom. Well, I'll put it that way. Look. Everybody fucks up. I have definitely come inside a chick accidentally. We all have done that. I think. I'm pretty sure we all, if we're honest, every guy that is age 30 and up has done that. And
Children watching this show. Chris.
yeah, no, they're not. No, they're definitely not. And believe me, YouTube knows. But if you've made a singular mistake, okay. I just wish if we're going to make abortion across the board okay, which I'm actually for. Personally, I'm good with abortion being okay. That being said, though, when you get to your second one, you should be sterilized because you're obviously not responsible enough to take a dick. It's that simple. So sterilize them on the. If you want to have more than one, then it comes with sterilization. Now you got all the rights in the world to do whatever you want. Wouldn't that solve the problem?
I left issue 1 blank on my ballot. I abstain from the issue and leave it up to the ladies. Fuck you. You fucking pussy. You're a bitch. I hate to tell you, Frantic Flintstone, I don't know if you've ever had sex before, but it does take two to have a baby. I don't know. Did I miss that course? Can the ladies get pregnant without me? Is that how that works? Fucking idiot.
In today's world, who knows how it works?
I guess maybe I missed that.
Where women or men can menstruate and men can have babies and all these other lies that are fucking mental illness.
What a cop-out, stupid answer. Why would you embarrass yourself by putting something like that out there? So
just leave it up to the ladies.
Leave it up to the ladies to decide if murder is okay. That's good. Good job.
White knighting it.
I couldn't decide and think it's a woman's issue. A woman's issue for what? To decide what happens to a baby?
Well,
you know, all these pro-abortion people say, "Oh, well, it's a fetus. It's not a baby." You know what fetus means? You don't even know what the word means, people. Fetus in Latin is offspring. You know, your child.
Well, here's all I'll say to Frantic Flintstone here.
Do we know Frantic Flintstone?
I don't know who that is. But I will say this to Frantic that couldn't decide and thinks it's a woman's issue. The reason you're wrong is because men can vote on it. So hold on, Seth. Your assumption that it's a woman's issue, it's not when it's on a ballot. It's everyone's issue when it's on a ballot, including yours. So be responsible and make a choice.
The woman is pregnant. It's her body. It's not her body. It's the baby's body. By the way, you know how they do abortions, Frantic Flintstone? When they rip the body parts out of the woman, and then they have to crush the skull of the baby to pull the head out. You know what they do after they do that, Frantic Flintstone? They take the body parts of that baby that they just ripped outside of the womb, and they put it together on a tray sitting next to her because they can't leave any of the body parts inside of the woman because that could jeopardize her health. You want to talk about jeopardizing the health of a mother or a woman, leaving the body parts left over inside of her can cause a health problem. So then they reassemble that baby on a tray next to her to make sure that they got all the parts, the arms, the legs, the toes, the head that's been crushed on a tray next to her, Frantic Flintstone. Take a picture of that. Put that as your fucking profile pic, you pussy.
Wow. Somebody's triggered here.
And then, I hate to tell you, I'm not triggered at all. I'm stating fact. That's a fact, is it not? That's a fact. Also, if it's a woman's body and her choice, then fuck, dude. I'm going to have sex with all the women I want. If they come after me for money for that baby, go fuck yourself. Her body, her baby. I don't want anything to do with it. So you think I'm going to give you money for that baby? Get the hell out of here.
Yeah. Well, I'm definitely not disagreeing with that part of it. I've thought that all along is if you don't have a legal part of the decision, why do you have a legal part of the responsibility?
You're a triggered guy. I'm not a triggered guy. I don't believe in murdering children. The same way that I didn't agree with the Nashville shooter going to a school and picking them off with a gun, I don't believe in ripping them out of people.
Yeah.
I haven't worked out the issue. How old are you? 2? You haven't had time to do research on this? And it does make me mad. It does make me mad when people are that selfish to think that, oh, I can just have sex and then not accept the consequences for it. I wish there was a way that I could have sex unprotected, whoever I want, not get any diseases. I'm sorry, that's not the case, is it? I have to accept responsibility for what I did. Yeah. And it goes along with anything else you do in life. I have to accept the responsibility that I didn't take care of myself. I smoked too much, I ate too much, and everything else. I stepped on a nail when I wasn't paying attention. And I have to accept the responsibility into the fact that I don't have a fucking leg anymore. Okay? There are consequences to your actions.
I'm going to disagree
Man
with
or woman.
I'm going to disagree with Frantic here on this. Abortion is exactly the same as shooting a kid in a school. Murder's murder.
It's murder.
And the word abortion is just a way that it's a cop-out word. Call it what it is, killing a baby. I'm pro-abortion. I'm pro-killing babies. I'll acknowledge it. I am pro-killing babies. But I'm not going to hide behind a word just because it makes you feel better. No. I have my reasons why, which are different than Seth's or whatever, but still I'm pro killing babies. And anybody that is pro abortion is pro killing babies. They need to toughen up and say what they mean.
You're an extremist. Do you have kids there, Frantic? I'm guessing that people are not sleeping with Frantic if he doesn't he doesn't have the ability to have this conversation because he doesn't have a kid.
Maybe Frantic's a she.
It could be a she.
Maybe that's why.
Well, no, because he said he left it blank and he said women should decide it.
Oh.
So he's a pussy, but not a woman.
Or maybe he's a they, them. We don't know.
Is aborting someone 1 week into pregnancy the same as shooting a kid in school? Okay, well, one.
Yes.
I think,
How about that? Yes.
you do realize that babies have heartbeats, right? And arms and legs and central nervous systems. And at some point during the pregnancy, they experience pain when you're ripping them to shreds. And so, oh, by the way, the issue that we're voting on tomorrow has nothing to do with 1 week into pregnancy, you moron. It has to do with if they get their way tomorrow, they're going to be able to have an abortion 9 months into pregnancy if that's what they decide to do. So how about just doing a little bit of research, Frantic? We're not talking about 1 week.
Oh, wait a minute. Where'd that one go? You can't afford to lose viewers. Yeah, we can. Watch.
I can afford to lose you.
And we're going to here in a second. See, we just lost Frantic because I banned him.
It doesn't bother me.
A rare ban on the show. And I'm not even banning him because I give a shit what he's saying. I'm just banning him because he's being a douche.
You
Bye,
can't
troll.
afford to lose users. I don't give a shit how many. I do this show because I like doing it.
Yeah, bye, troll. Gone.
Matter to me.
Fucking viewers, shut up.
And okay, just because the number in the corner of the screen doesn't mean shit about the other places that people watch the show.
Yeah.
So it doesn't bother me what Frantic says.
Yeah, who cares what YouTube's our worst fucking platform.
That's the worst of our viewers.
Yeah. Oh well.
Everybody's turning on Frantic. Now I don't have anything to read from him. If this is being an extremist, then sign me up.
Again, all I say is if you want to kill babies, that's all good, but kill them. But you only get to do it once. Second time, you're sterilized so that we don't have this as a recurring problem. What's the problem with that?
I am far from an extremist. There are people that are on the right that would absolutely say, hey, from the moment that you have sex, you want to get rid of that, you're done for. No, they don't want that. They want to ban everything. I'm not like that. I think there are definitely cases, whether it's rape or incest or, there are definite things. The health of the mother, I understand. I get it. I'm not an extremist. I am anti-killing of children. That's just, I draw the line, especially when these lunatics on the left are talking about, when they're talking about issue 1 tomorrow, they're talking about they can have an abortion up until like the day of birth. And I have a problem with that.
Why don't we just make everybody's always allowed to be killed? Let's just go for the whole gamut.
Do it, then just legalize it all. If you see a homeless guy underneath a bridge somewhere,
Just shoot him.
and you realize that his life doesn't mean much because he's not going to do anything with it. He's just drinking and doing drugs. Shoot him in the face, and
Just
it's
shoot
legal.
him. That's right. Just shoot him.
It should all be legal. Absolutely.
Every bit of it. 30 years old, robbed a store, shoot him.
Look, I'm all for assisted suicide. I'm sure there's a lot of people on the right that think that that's a horrible thing to even say. Look, I'm for it. If you have cancer and you're dying, you want to end your life, go for it.
Yeah,
And somebody should help you do it easily.
I'm with you there too. That one just needs to happen. As long as you're not leaving a mess, who cares? You know.
Scott like telling Frantic that he's wrong.
Well, good. You can keep telling him. I'm sure he's still watching somewhere, but
Like me and Joe agree on stuff.
that can't be right.
Tomorrow's a big day, man. It really is. And I don't even say this because of the abortion issue. Because forget all that. You know how I feel about abortion. But why I think it's such a big day is I think that the state of Ohio, which is has always been a typically red state, needs to stand up and show that we haven't lost our way. Because this is big donor money coming in from the outside of the state of Ohio. I think they spent something like $39 million on ads and shit to get this stuff passed. And I think that if the people on the right don't stand up in the state and actually go out and vote and do what they have to do, this is much bigger than just the abortion issue. This is another notch in the left's belt of trying to take over this country. And I think it's huge. Issue 1 is not just being discussed here in Ohio. And it's just for the Ohio issue. It's being discussed all over the country as a huge issue. DeWine was on Fox News yesterday talking about issue 1 because it's now become a nationwide thing. And if the right people in this state don't stand up and actually do something, I think we're losing it.
Right. Well, again, as I've always said, I don't really listen to what anybody does. I'm going to do whatever the fuck I'm going to do. I don't care what the law is. I'm going to do whatever I fucking do.
And of course, the other big issue tomorrow is issue 2.
Which is what?
The marijuana issue. And I know how you feel about it. I know how some of the people listening feel about it.
Yeah.
I don't know necessarily how I feel about it. I'm not a smoker. I'll be honest. Even when I used to smoke cigarettes. I don't do that anymore. I'm not a weed guy. I've never been a weed guy. I always thought it kind of made me feel like shit, and I have no desire to smoke it at all. And I generally don't really care what people do as far as smoking weed. Now, what I do worry about is it making it easier for children to get a hold of it. I think it is. When you go to some of these weed stores, like in Michigan, it looks like a candy store. I mean,
Yeah.
they're definitely pushing this stuff towards children. They have gummies that look like they should be candy given to kids. And I think that...
Yeah, but the kids can't buy it.
No, but okay. We said that when we were kids about getting alcohol. How quickly could we get alcohol?
Yeah, but we had to steal it or whatever. We couldn't just buy it.
Or
You had to know the guy at the gas station or something.
Or I would, give somebody who was old enough, $10 and go and get me what I needed.
Yeah, well, dude, so how is that different?
I just think that making it very accessible for everybody to get might be an issue.
Well, wait a minute, though. Hold on. I'm going to go off of your example, though. If all you had to do to get beer was pay somebody $10 to go get it, why would the weed be any different? You could pay somebody $10 to walk into the gummy store and buy gummies. How is that different?
Again, I don't think that it should be legal for you to be able to go in and get that kind of stuff. I think you should have to have a medical reason why you need it.
See, I'll tell you. All right, I'll make the opposite argument here, or the opposing argument, rather. The reason you make it legal is so that it's not tainted with meth or tainted with, the bullshit that these guys put into it for whatever sadistic reasons. At least if you buy it where it's regulated, you know what you're buying. You certainly know what you're getting if you buy it from the government level. Or if you buy it from some street dealer, which is what everybody does now, you don't know what you're getting in it.
Well, that's the risk that you take then. I mean,
okay. Well, that's the same risk that I'm taking when I stick my dick in a woman. I might have to pay for an abortion.
No, you might have to pay child support.
No, I might have to pay for an abortion right now. Right now, I might just have to what's the thing from Fast Times at Richmond High? $75 in a ride.
I don't know. I think that you're causing more problems by legalizing weed than you're curing. What are you helping by making drugs legal?
What are you helping by keeping alcohol legal? Nothing.
Okay, well, what are you gonna do? Ban alcohol now? I'm not saying that. I'm saying
No. I'm saying the genie's already out of the bottle with the weed.
Okay, so what's next though? This goes back to what we talked to you last time we talked about this.
Yeah,
What's next?
dude.
You gonna legalize it all?
They may. They may anyway. They don't seem to give a shit about us. Where is your thought that the government cares about us? Why would you think that? They don't care about us. They happily take our money and throw it to other countries and don't take care of our own people.
We're just asking, what happened to just morals and values in this country where
It's gone. It's dead. It's done.
and we shouldn't be doing that kind of stuff.
It's dead.
Look, and
morals are gone.
I hate to tell you this, but people do have drinks every now and then to not get hammered.
And people sometimes smoke pot just to mellow out.
You do not smoke pot to not get high.
You do. Sometimes you do.
High.
Yes, you do.
Okay.
I mean, you don't. Let me take that back. You don't smoke. I personally, I would say 8 of 10 times that I smoke pot, and I am an active pot smoker. So I'm not gonna. I want people to understand my point of view and not just think I'm talking shit. I smoke pot 6, 8, 10, 12 times a year, somewhere in there. Not a ton, but not.
I think that's hardly an active pot smoker.
Well, it's not a ton, but it's not. It's more than a little. At least once a month I smoke some weed. And as a pot smoker, though, I would say 8 of every 10 times it's not, let me smoke as much as I can so I turn into a fucking zombie.
Okay, I didn't say that. But
most of the time it's just to mellow out a little bit, to take the edge off a little bit. Same as having 2 glasses of wine at dinner or something.
Oh, I beg to differ.
It's the same.
You could smoke a cigarette to mellow out if that's what you really wanted to do.
Yeah, but cigarettes don't do that.
When you're smoking weed, you smoke to get high. When you
drink alcohol, you drink to get drunk.
That's not true. If I have a beer at dinner when I go out to eat, that's not.
Okay, so wait a minute. So what you're saying is that everybody has to base their decisions on your morality.
Well, no.
Not on everybody's morality.
Morality. I'm talking about.
You are.
No, I'm not talking about morality at all. I'm talking about the simple science of things that people can have a glass of wine with dinner and get behind the wheel of a car and drive.
And people could smoke one joint. You could smoke one joint and drive just as probably better. Probably better.
Yeah, I could do 1 light of Coke and drive better too.
Coke's a different thing. A Coke has a different reactionary. Your insides react different with the hot, fast beating heart and everything, and the paranoia and stuff that comes from your heart beating 150 fucking times a second. From Coke, marijuana doesn't do that to you.
Children cannot get in, 21 to get in, and very regulated. I didn't say that it wasn't regulated. What I'm saying is that if you are exposing it the way that you're exposing it to everybody, then children are going to get their hands on it easier, just like they can do alcohol.
Dude, do you ever watch?
Why do you have to constantly make things more readily available that shouldn't be?
Because people are turning to other shit that is far worse. By making it difficult, to get what is an innocuous drug at best. And let's be honest, weed is an innocuous drug at best. It's not the crazy
I agree. I don't
crazy
disagree
thing
with you on that.
But what are people doing because it's cheaper than getting weed now? They're turning to meth, which is terrible for you. Absolutely terrible for you. But they're turning to it because you can buy a fucking hit of meth for like $3.
So what you're saying is that we make weed legal, and then when meth all of a sudden comes around, we say, well, it's not that bad for sitting on the house.
No, I'm not saying that at all. What I'm saying
on the
is,
house, you're having meth, and nobody's getting hurt.
What I'm saying is,
make that legal too?
Because you're going to the extreme level. What I'm saying is that weed is no different. In fact, is safer by the ingestion level than alcohol, which is legal. It's less of a damaging factor in one-time usage or two-time usage. It's less addictive. It's less dangerous. It doesn't make you hallucinate. It does not make you. The only thing it might make where it could be considered dangerous, if you smoke a lot of weed, you get tired. That's it.
Would you be tired behind the wheel of a car?
Gee, I don't know. Did you ever drink 12 beers? Did you get tired?
Yeah, I don't drive.
Did you drink?
I don't.
Or did you
drink
drive?
Beers and drive.
But you never did. You never did.
I want to get people to comment on whether you're voting yes or no on issue 2 tomorrow. Of course I have, and it was stupid. I could have.
And of course, well, that's it. It's just you're not making it. See, here I'm waiting to hear this point from you, Seth, and I'm not hearing it. Tell me how weed is more dangerous than the legal alcohol now, and then I'll side with your point. But I'm saying it's less dangerous than alcohol, so there's no reason for it to be illegal.
Where are your stats? One, that say it's less dangerous than alcohol, because I'd love to see those stats.
My stats are
Two,
my head. I know how I am when I'm high.
Okay. 2, I never said anything about alcohol, whether it should be legal or not. The fact is that alcohol has been legal for quite some time. They tried making it illegal. We saw how that worked out.
Yeah. So is abortion, but you're wanting that.
Why don't you just leave it alone?
Well, abortion is legal.
If you need medical marijuana, murder is a lot different, I think, than
Abortion is legal. Why not just leave it the way it is?
because murder is not legal.
But abortion is.
It's not. It's not in all states. It's up to the states to decide whether it's
Weed
legal or
is not illegal in all states either.
It was until all you hippies
But it's not.
decided it was okay to start smoking it everywhere.
I'm killing you on this one, man. You're
not killing me on anything.
you're making the same argument over and over. You're saying this is in this state and
All
that
you're
that
saying
state.
is that it's not as dangerous as alcohol. So the fuck what? It doesn't mean it should be legal.
Yes, it does. Because if
Right.
you have to have a standard somewhere of what does anything do to you, whether it's dude, what would you you can make layers or rungs on a ladder.
Look, I'm just going to be honest with you. I did a lot of different drugs in my life, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Whether my dad wants to listen to this or not, turn off the damn show.
Yeah.
But I've done a lot of different things, and there are quite a few other drugs that I operated a vehicle on a lot better than I did with alcohol or weed.
Of course.
And so I'm just telling you, we can't just decide to make every single drug legal.
And here's my counter to that. Weed is less dangerous than a lot of shit that is legal. Xanax. Who would you rather ride with? Somebody that has a prescription and is taking Xanax, or somebody that smoked a joint?
One, I had a prescription for Xanax, and if you take it appropriately, like it's prescribed to you, then
Okay.
it doesn't do anything to you that's going to make you unable to drive. It doesn't.
Xanax? Yes, it slows your response time.
If you take it as prescribed to you,
It still slows your response time. That's the whole point of Xanax. It's to mellow you out. That's the whole point of taking Xanax.
So, I will ask you, at what point do we draw the line on illegal drugs?
Hallucinogenic.
Hallucinogenics, that's it.
To me, yes, because that
meth.
impairs. Well, hold on. Let me say why, and then you can argue it back. If it doesn't cause you to hallucinate, it doesn't take away from your ability to do certain things.
Okay.
If you do, even like Coke changes your ability to drive a car, to drive a boat, to drive.
I knew people that were did a lot of that stuff.
I did all of this stuff.
And they were very high functioning and actually more functioning. They
Sure.
were more alert than
Of course.
anything. So
Of course.
the people that were, I know that
Some.
did Coke were more alert and more able to do a lot of things better.
Some. I'm not going to argue that, dude. There's always high functioning everybody. There's high function. Dude, when I was going through my divorce, I was drinking a fifth of vodka every single day. And you know what? I worked every single day. I never missed a day. I just did it drunk. I was doing yoga in here, drunk off my ass. Drunk off my ass, but still doing yoga. I mean, I could function at a high level with being straight fucked up on booze.
Okay, so
That doesn't make it right.
exactly. So it doesn't make it right that just because you say that weed is more or less dangerous than alcohol to just make it legal. It doesn't make it right to make
Sure
it
it does. Well then why can I do one and not why can I do the more dangerous and not the less dangerous? Why should I have to make that decision?
Okay, you're not telling me a line that you're willing to draw on what should be okay and what's not okay.
I did tell you a line.
So, again,
Hallucinogenics.
So coke,
Mushrooms, no. Mushrooms should be
okay.
illegal. Coke, I'm fine with Coke being okay.
legal, meth legal.
Meth makes you hallucinate.
I've never done that. So
I haven't done meth either, to be honest, but I do understand that it does make you hallucinate. Heroin, which I have done, yes, that should absolutely be banned. That should absolutely be banned because it does make you hallucinate.
Rick wants to see you in yoga pants.
I never did the yoga pants. My camel toe was too hanging.
Scott says we have enough legal drugs now. Why put more out there?
Fine, then take out alcohol and replace it with weed. Give me the less dangerous. Let's get rid of booze. I'm for getting rid of booze and going all weed.
I think the beer companies would have something to say over that.
I don't care. You know what? Anheuser-Busch can buy a fucking pot plant. Bud Light would probably jump right in on that. Anything to get people to buy something that they're selling.
So I don't know where I fall on this. I would like to take the high road of saying that I want to vote against issue 2, but I don't know. I don't know because in the long run, I'm just arguing to argue with you because I kind of agree with a lot of what you're saying.
Well, dude, you know what the biggest problem I have with issue 2 is? The fact that nobody cares about it. People just drive to Michigan on the weekend. They drive up, have lunch, grab some weed, and come back. That's what everybody's doing. That's what everybody that really enjoys smoking weed or taking gummies or vaping, they're doing it. And what they're doing is illegal, and it shouldn't be illegal because it should be sold here. What people are doing is they're going to Michigan and they're buying 12 or 15 or 20 of those capsules for the vape pens, which I would imagine if you got stopped coming back from Michigan would be a felony for the amount that you're bringing back.
So let's say now we go along with your theory and go ahead and vote yes on issue 2, and issue 2 passes, and weed is legal here in Ohio.
Mm-hmm.
So you can smoke it whenever the hell you want to smoke it.
Okay.
Do you agree with having some sort of test to make sure, or how do you test so people aren't dying on the roads when you get high and get out on the road? Because maybe you did smoke too much this time around, and like you do have too many beers, and you go out on the roads and you shouldn't be driving. How do we test to make sure that you're okay to drive a car smoking weed?
Well, that's already in place.
What?
They can absolutely, if they suspect you, they can arrest you and they can blood test you.
Well, of course they're gonna. Look, you can smell it on your breath for hours after you did it. So,
right.
I mean, so what, you want a blood test?
So you get arrested. Yes, you get arrested and you get a blood test. And if you refuse the blood test, you lose your license. Just like if you refuse just like if you get stopped right now today, if you were drinking today and you went out on the road, you get stopped and you refuse the breathalyzer on the spot, they tow your car. It's an automatic impound and an automatic loss of your license. So you could do the same thing. If they suspect you of smoking weed, they should they could say, look, we're going to take you over to fucking Robinson and we're going to get a blood test. And if you refuse, then you lose your license. I'm all for that. I'm fine with that. The problem is, you know what they really do now when they reach in and they smell that you're smoking weed?
Oh.
They ask you if you're smoking weed. You say yes. They say, where's the joint? They take it and they give you a $25 ticket. It's so stupid that it's not worth having a law over anymore. The cops don't enforce it. They only enforce it if you got pounds of weed. If you got 2 joints in your car, they're just going to take the joints and give you a ticket that's less than a parking ticket. So why have a law banning it? Why not regulate it and at least make it safer? The cops ain't doing nothing to make it safer. They know damn well that they're taking those 2 joints. You're going to go right home and roll 2 more. They know that. They don't care.
I'm kind of playing devil's advocate at the same time agreeing with you. I don't know. I don't know which way I'm going to roll on that one tomorrow. Get it roll? Sorry.
Yeah. You roll that paper up and cast your vote, right?
And I guess it's easy for me to say because I just don't smoke it. So
because you're not a user.
Say, screw it. I'm say no to it. But
Mhm.
we had a discussion the other day, Bob and I, about do I think that most of the people that vote no on issue 1 are going to vote no on issue 2? I said no, not at all.
Oh.
I think that the pendulum has swung. That most of the people, even that are conservative, don't look at weed as a drug that should be illegal,
Yeah.
and that they are conservative in a lot of ways and don't believe in murdering babies, but they will agree with smoking as much weed as they can smoke.
Absolutely. Absolutely, they do. There's no question about that. Weed is just look.
I mean,
again,
I also don't like the smell of it. I went to Vegas and I wanted to throw up on every street that I went down
because of the weed, yeah.
because it was nonstop weed. I don't want that around here. I don't want me and my kid walking through the zoo and they have a weed section now instead of a smoking section where everyone's
Right.
over there smoking up, and the smell is all over the place.
Well,
I
I mean,
don't think
that's
that
the other
needs to be
thing.
exposed to people.
But that's the other thing too, is that weed is going to be treated the same way as cigarettes. It's not like you're going to be able to just smoke wherever you want to.
Well,
You're not going to be able to
do
go into buildings. You're not going to be able to go into restaurants. You're not going to be able to go into any of those places to smoke pot.
Is it going to be like a smoking section? Are we going to be able to go out on a patio?
I
or a
don't think
bar
so.
and smoke
I don't
weed?
think so because what business would want to take on the liability of somebody doing something dumb while they're high?
So is the law going to say, hey, you can smoke, but only inside your house?
It's going to say the same as what cigarettes say. You can smoke in a designated area, and there might be I would imagine a casino will have a designated. I would imagine anywhere that has a dedicated area for smoking right now, it'll also be for pot.
So let me get this straight. If I go to the Browns game on Sunday,
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to be able to take my kid out to the designated smoking pot section and stand there with my child while I'm having a joint ready to go watch the game.
Maybe, maybe not. You might not be able to take your child in there because it's a controlled substance that's for people that are of a certain age.
Well, I can get a beer around my kid. Why can't I bring my kid around the pot then?
Your kid can't go in and get a beer.
No, but I can sit with my kid in the beer line. I can drink a beer while I'm sitting next to my
Yeah,
kid.
but if a beer gave off a contact high, then you wouldn't be able to do that.
Okay, but I don't want the contact high and forget being a kid. What if I'm
You
walking
lose.
by the smoking weed section of the Brown Stadium?
Well, then
Why do I have to deal with that?
You lose. That's why, because you bought a ticket. You take on the responsibilities and the risk of being in that place.
Let's see, but same goes for alcohol. It's already in place. Well, what you talking about?
Look, nobody's going to agree totally. I mean, that's the weird thing with these two arguments. There's no. I agree with. See, believe it or not, me who is who enjoys weed, I am absolutely for regulating the shit out of it.
Well, again, and now I'm just curious as to how far the law is going to go. So yes, now there's going to be a pot store in every corner. I get it, and it'll be great. And you can go to South Park Mall, and it'll be the weed store that you can go in and get your weed. So where and now are we allowed to smoke it around the city with kids around? I mean, are we allowed to? Like if I go to Applebee's and I sit on the patio and I'm allowed to smoke out there, am I allowed to smoke weed now with kids around?
I would imagine that's going to be up to the business owners.
Well, it's not up to the business owners where people can smoke cigarettes.
Sure it is.
No, I mean,
Sure it is. You can't smoke in a bar anymore.
But the bar doesn't have a choice over that. That's the law.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
But I mean, are you going to be able to walk down the street and just smoke weed whenever you want?
If you have a card, yes.
What do you mean you have a card?
If you have a look, just because they make it legal doesn't mean anybody can just smoke randomly.
Why not? Yeah, it does. You can go to a store, buy the weed, and smoke whenever
But
you
you
want.
still have to prove things like your age and stuff like that. You can't just. It's not like you can have a grow house in your house now and grow pot.
No, but
It still has to be regulated.
You can go to your pot store.
Yeah.
You can buy your pot, and then you can walk down the street, and around my child who's walking down the same street with you, you can smoke weed.
See,
now, it does. There is such a thing, like you said earlier, as a contact
high, of course.
where somebody that is walking near you can inhale that smoke and have a reaction to it.
Mm-hmm.
So, are we going to allow just walking down the streets that children are going down, that old people with health problems are going down, and let them smoke weed.
And I'm going to say you are going to, and you're just going to have to police your kids better, police yourself better. That's going to be the way it is. Just like smoking. You can get fucking lung cancer from secondhand smoke. That doesn't mean that doesn't mean that you can like you can regulate it on the street.
What we don't know that is actually the case about secondhand smoke. That has been disputed in numerous studies. But when it comes to smoking weed, you know that weed gets you high. You know the smoke gets you high. And you know that there's going to be places where there's going to be children, whether it's at a Cavs game, Browns game, where there is smoking cigarettes in areas is allowed, and having weed in that area might be a different story. But I'm wondering what the laws are going to be as far as where you're allowed to go ahead and smoke it.
Well, the laws maybe, and I don't know the answer to that. If I had to guess, I would think that there will be something in place about where kids are versus where you're allowed to smoke.
My phone's about to die. I was going to look up issue 2 and see if there's any verbiage on it.
Let me see. I'll look it up. Issue 2, where can you smoke? Let's see. Private
weed bars, you can just go smoke it?
There might be. Private property rights. Issue 2 is proposed as a 41-page law that contains 2 provisions for property owners: that public places cannot be required to accommodate an individual's use of adult cannabis, or they can be prohibited from accommodating it. So it's up to the business. That's what this says. It's up to the business.
But I'm assuming that, could the city of Cleveland just say no smoking on the streets, or is it going to be allowed wherever you want to go?
Well, this is private property. So if you have a private property, you can do whatever you want.
So the city of Cleveland could decide whether they want to just, allow it or not.
I don't think so. Not if it passes as a law that it's legal. No. Then it becomes the issue of the private business. The private, if I'm reading this right, it says that a private property owner can or cannot set the requirement for using cannabis.
And now, since you said what you said, I would really like to know what's in 41 pages.
Yeah, I know.
Of a bill like this.
Why do I think it's money for Ukraine?
There's going to be all kind of stuff in that bill that we have no idea. It'll make the pot people very happy, and I guarantee you there's going to be shit in there that people do not want to be voting yes on.
Yeah. Here. It's property rights issue here, so-and-so said, somebody named Heron. If I'm a restaurant or a comedy club, it's my business. I can say if you can or can't allow alcohol, just like you can or can't allow marijuana, just like you can or cannot allow alcohol.
Okay.
So it becomes the right of the property.
But wait a second. It's the Ohio law that you cannot smoke inside bars, restaurants, clubs, and all that kind of stuff. That's an Ohio law.
Mm-hmm.
So you can't smoke a cigarette inside of a bar or restaurant. Are they saying now, though, that it's going to be the restaurant owner or the property owner to decide whether they could smoke weed in it? So I can't smoke a Marlboro if I go into a bar, but I'm going to be able to smoke a joint?
Maybe.
I mean, it is state law that you're not allowed to smoke inside of restaurants.
I'm reading this as you talk here. Let's see.
And so that would be a very big concern.
But the campaign in opposition to issue 2, called Protect Ohio Workers and Families,
yes,
which is made up of children's health care, law enforcement, and business groups, say there's ambiguity on the extent to which private property owners can prohibit people from using, possessing, displaying, or transferring marijuana on their property, apart from existing bans on smoking. So yeah, this is still just a clusterfuck.
Yeah. There's 41 pages of crap.
Yeah.
Look, Sandy, I called you Sandra. Dear God, Sandy. It was good seeing you the other day, Sandy, by the way. I smell weed now, and Jim. I miss you guys. Smell weed now in certain areas without being legal. Yes, I understand that. We go to apartment buildings all the time.
Sure.
Food and crap, where it smells like fucking weed every
right.
hallway that you go into. So I understand that people are doing it. I'm not saying that people aren't smoking it, nor do I care if they're smoking. I'm just being honest with you. But if I don't want my daughter being strolled down the street with some guy smoking a joint, blowing smoke in her face.
Okay, let's just go with the way the law is today. The way the law is today. If you took your daughter to the movie theater, let's just go someplace that's real obvious, like the movies.
Yes.
You and your daughter go to the movies. It smells like there's 15 people smoking pot in that place. What is it that you think the law will do?
What do you mean?
I mean, what do you think they'll do? If you go and say, hey, officer, there's 15 people in there smoking pot. What is your expectation that they would do?
I would expect that they'd be kicked out of the theater, at the very least.
Nope. It's not what they would do.
I beg to differ.
They would just take the weed from them.
Okay, either way, they wouldn't be able to smoke inside the theater.
Maybe somebody else pull out another joint. That's the whole point. It's not, the point is that it's not treated as a true breaking of a law anymore. It is a 900th degree misdemeanor at this point. It's not something that, it's a no lose on the and there's a good one too, no smoke. Now it's edibles. Good point, Rick. You know, everybody is switching to the edibles now.
And what Sandy is saying there, they don't allow smoking in arenas now. Pot smoking won't be allowed. But there is areas that are outside of the arena where people can gather to smoke cigarettes. So I'm asking, is that going to be now allowed to just go ahead and smoke pot out there?
And I say it is. I say it is, and it should be. Absolutely should be.
Well,
why not?
Okay, I guess I would have a problem with taking my daughter, especially when she was younger, to go to Cedar Point, and all of a sudden, instead of just having the bad people smoking their little Marlboros, that all of a sudden throughout Cedar Point, there's going to be pot smoke wafting throughout the air as we're trying to ride rides and stuff. I think that would be insane.
Dude, do you remember when they banned smoking in the
what
bars?
What are we doing next? We're going to have a pot smoking around Disney World and Mickey's getting high. I mean, I don't understand. No, we have to put an end to some things. We can't just have lawlessness to go throughout the country.
Dude, Rome is burning, man. Light a candle.
I know it's burning. Why
light a candle?
Why get the gasoline?
Because you ain't stopping it at this point. It's done. It's over.
No smoke, now edibles, Chris. Yeah, okay, look, I had a commercial that I had to do for edibles back in the day when I was on TAM.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, they were paying me pretty good money to promote this smoke shop with edibles.
Sure.
I never tried one of those fucking things because I just don't agree with it. It's just something I don't personally do. Now, you can do whatever the hell you want. I don't care. I'm not stopping it from doing it. But my point is that it's just something that I don't particularly care for.
Yeah, edibles taste gross.
And I don't want the exposure to kids and more problems. I don't understand why we want to open ourselves up to it. If that's what you want to do, I don't care if you or Sandy or whoever else wants to get as high as you want inside your house. That's fine. Go do what you want to do.
Yeah.
But I have a problem with taking it to the streets, taking it to the arenas, taking it to Cedar Point, taking it to Disney, and instead of not only allowing smoking cigarettes, but now we're going to allow pot to be going all over the place. I don't agree with it.
Then vote no or yes or whatever you're supposed to vote.
I don't know what the hell. I'm just going to click something. I know I'm voting no on issue 1, and the other ones, whatever. Rick is dying over there. He wants Melissa and he wants a Stables girl.
Huh?
Oh, we haven't taken a break in a while, so
we haven't taken a break yet. Hour and 10 minutes or whatever.
Yeah, I don't know what the hell we're going to talk about coming back, but we'll talk about something. But I'm going to play Melissa for Rick because I know Rick is ridiculously excited to see Melissa.
All right.
At least that's what I think I'm going to. Yes. All right. There we go. And then the Browns still suck, even though they won yesterday. Right? You agree?
I'll wait till after the break.
Talk about that.
I'll wait till after the break.
Hang on.
There's no place like home, and whether it's furniture, artwork, home accessories, appliances, or that one-of-a-kind collectible, Yellow Brick Road Online Auctions allows you to find everything you need from the comfort of your own home. The owner of Yellow Brick Road Auctions has been conducting online estate auctions for over 8 years by providing homeowners with a stress-free process to liquidate all items that have accumulated over the years.
I'm Melissa Mendici, owner of Yellow Brick Road Auctions. Log on today to find your heart's desire.
Hey everybody, it's Don Doc, and when I'm feeling nostalgic, I always go to Pinball PA. You gotta go check it out, it's a lot of fun.
When you want to have fun in Pennsylvania, there's only one place to go, Pinball PA. Located near the Pittsburgh airport, we have over 420 classic pinball machines and arcade games that you can play. Admission starts at only $24.99. Want to have a party? Well, there's no better place than Pinball PA. Visit our website today at www.pinballpa.com to get more information or to book your next small or large party. Pinball PA, it's where the action is.
Does your company need fresh teas? Have you paid an arm and a leg for the ones you have? Worried about poor quality when you pay less? Stop worrying, Northeast Ohio, and visit us at www.wctees.com. At Wolf Creek Media, we're family owned, we offer simple pricing, and we're fair and honest. We even have an in-house graphic designer and cover all your apparel needs. So if you need t-shirts, hoodies, banners, or any other type of printing, call us at 330-353-9695 or visit us at wctees.com. That's wctees.com, a proud sponsor of the Seth Williams Show.
All right, back here, the Seth Williams Show, of course, saying check out WCTees.com, WCTees.com. Somebody buy some t-shirts, man.
Yeah, really.
Tom is a good guy. He's a staunch conservative, friends with Renee, does a lot of stuff. He's a good guy. He's got chickens. He's got chickens at his house.
Really?
Which is very cool. They wander around and they're fun. But WCTees.com. Check it out. If you need shirts, go to him.
There you go.
Comments. Oh, wait, here's Rick. Rick is very happy once again. Check out yellowbrickroadauctions.com. Yellowbrickroadauctions.com.
That's right.
I saw Melissa in person yesterday, Rick.
Ooh.
Had breakfast with her and Sandy and Jim. And so.
Look at that. You're just getting out there, seeing everybody, huh?
Oh, yeah. That's just me. That's how I roll.
That's right.
Now, I had fun yesterday, though. We went out and did a lot of stuff. Went to the Christmas story house yesterday.
Oh, with the one-legged lamp and all that shit.
Oh yeah.
I've never been there.
You're very anti-holiday, aren't you?
I really am. I do not like Christmas. I'm not a Christmas person at all. But I just never I've never even seen the movie.
Well, you are not only anti-holiday, but you're also a communist.
All right. So. Put it on with all the rest of the ists that I am. Racist.
I love that movie, man.
I've never seen it to know. It's not like I hated it. I've never seen it.
So before the guys had bought the house and made it into like the museum and everything, looked like the house when it was filmed and all that kind of stuff. I went to the house when somebody was actually living there.
Okay.
I was on the radio and using back then it was like a cell phone, like brand new kind of cell phone kind of
thing.
And I just knocked on the door and I was like, hey, I'm on the radio and I wanted to see the house where the Christmas story is filmed.
Right.
And he had it was just a guy living there and he had like a couch and all this shit. And he brought me right on in and showed me around. And it was very cool to see it like that.
And he let you like take pictures and stuff?
Oh yeah, yeah.
That's pretty cool.
And I mean, a lot of the movie, like the upstairs, wasn't actually filmed here in Cleveland. It was filmed in a different house in a different location. But like the backyard scenes and the kitchen scenes and stuff like that were filmed at that house. Even like some of the front window stuff was filmed right at that house. But it was just some dude that was living there. And I'm like, hey, yeah, I know this house. Can I come in? And sure as shit, like 8 o'clock in the morning, like, come on in.
Nice. Want some coffee? Here you go.
Yeah.
Nice.
It was pretty cool.
That's pretty funny.
My mouse died.
Oh, that's fun.
It's working now. I think. Yes, it is. It's on TBS, TNT, Christmas Eve, all day. Yeah, they do it like 24 hours on Christmas Eve. Dude. You should watch
I won't watch it.
once.
No. The only Christmas movie I'll watch is Christmas Vacation or Die Hard.
Both, yes, excellent Christmas movies.
Yeah. That's about it.
Did you see the picture I posted yesterday?
No. Oh, of your house?
No, I mean, I posted that the other day, but then I got a lot of haters that didn't like the fact that my house was decorated.
Oh, the one with your dog?
Yeah, but my dog is now getting in the spirit.
I'm sure he had a lot to say about it.
Whatever.
What
do you mean whatever?
I'm the same with pets as I am with Christmas.
Dude, my dog is not gender neutral. She is not non-binary. She is an actual, living, breathing human dog chick. Right, puppy? Yeah, she's a good girl. And she sits at my feet while I do my show.
Well, that's nice.
You don't have the dog picture?
I'm looking for it. Hold on.
It's the best picture ever.
I'm just thinking, like, in my world, the only thing I would do with a dog is feed it a bowl of antifreeze.
Wow, you're awful.
Not a pet person.
Why not?
Dude, I always hated pets. I just always did. There's so much fucking work. Getting nothing back for it.
Now that I take offense to. I get a lot of stuff. Dude, this dog saved my life, man. When I was home alone for a very long time, I needed like something around this house that did, as a companion. And she was the best. Look at that.
Yeah, there it is.
There she is. Presley is her name.
There they are.
And she has her green Christmas sweater on.
Oh, how sweet.
You'll
never get me. You'll never get me with the fucking pets. I am not a pet person at all.
I'll tell you what. As soon as we took that sweater off of her, she grabbed it, ran with it to the bedroom, and started trying to eat it because she hated that thing being on her so bad.
Well, yeah, because dogs aren't supposed to wear sweaters.
Well, if it gets cold outside, what is she supposed to wear?
It was 60 degrees yesterday.
I know, but it was cold inside with the air conditioning on. See?
People could question me. I see Natalie in there questioning me. You'll never get me on the pets. I am not a pet guy.
You've never owned anything as
I've owned pets, and I hated them all.
What about like a snake? A snake would be cool.
No, I don't want none of it. Fish, any of it. If I got to feed it, it's going to die. It's that simple.
Dude, I had a snake because my ex-wife and I thought it would be cool to get like a snake.
Right.
So we got this albino python, something like that.
Okay.
And we brought this damn thing home. And like, I'm definitely afraid of snakes. I hate snakes. But I thought it'd be cool to own one.
Yeah.
And so I brought this thing home. I stuck it in a tank. And like, there were a couple, I had to feed it mice and stuff. And like, you'd hear these poor mice like scream for their lives when this thing would start wrapping its body around this poor mouse.
Right.
And one day I left one of the bags with a mouse sitting on top of the entertainment center. And the mouse ate its way through the bag, and I lost the mouse somewhere in the house. And then I really wasn't a fan. Like one time I was holding the snake bit me, and I threw the snake across the room. And so finally, I just stopped handling the snake. I just didn't care. I still told the wife, you're in charge of the snake. And then one day, man, it was like 90 degrees outside, and I left the heater on the snake in the tank. I got home, this poor thing was just fried to the bottom.
That's hilarious.
I've never been actually happy to lose a pet, but that was one.
Yeah. I've always been the guy that kind of like volunteered for family and friends to go put their dogs down and stuff because I know how all you dogs. Look, let me be clear on how I am about pets, because I'm not actively out there killing pets. Just to be clear.
It seems like you are.
Just to be clear, I'm not out there actively killing pets. I know that I don't like pets, so I don't have pets. And that's kind of, to me, that's being a responsible pet person. Is if you know that you don't like them, don't have them. You know, instead of people that they get a girlfriend, so then they get a dog, and then when they break up with their girlfriend, they fucking abuse the dog. You know, I'm not that guy. I'm not a pet person. And believe me, everybody around me are pet people. My friend John that does the Dog Pound details with us, he's got 3 fucking dogs. I hate all of them. Hate all 3 of them. And every time I go to him and his chick's place, all 3 of them fucking dogs jumping all over me. I'm like, just get away from me. My girl Kelly that you met that I kick it with, she's got 2 big giant dogs. I hate both of them too. I hate dogs. I'm not a pet person. And that being said, I just don't have them. And I'll tell you the story that kind of cemented it for me if you want to hear it.
Yeah, real quick. My dog's name is Presley. I'm for Elvis, Natalie.
So when I was, I was about 30, 31 years old. My ex-wife, now ex-wife, comes to me one day and says, "What do you think about getting a dog?" And I was like, absolutely not. Absolutely not. I don't want a dog. I want nothing to do with a dog. So she goes, "Well, you know, maybe." And I was like, "No, maybe about it. Absolutely no." So then her sister drives up from North Carolina. Apparently they'd already worked this out, that she was taking this dog. So she brings this dog. Dog's name was Rocky. This fucking dog was the most obnoxious dog in the history of dogs. Barked and howled and jumped on people and cut every piece of furniture I ever owned to shit. Hated this dog. But I told her, after I said no and she brought it in anyway, I was like, I will never do anything with this dog. And I didn't. We had the dog for 10 years. I wouldn't pet it. I wouldn't walk it. I wouldn't take it out. I wouldn't clean up after it. If it got out, even if Georgetta wasn't here, I would call her wherever she is. "Hey, your dog got out." I would not even chase. I was not going to be dealing with a pet because I hated it. And I was forced to deal with a pet for 10 years that I didn't want to. So the minute she was gone, so too were my pet days. And I'll never have another pet.
Gunner, remember the story where the rescue lady had the snake stuck to her face? I got to play a YouTube video here.
Okay.
It's a 911 call.
All right.
So how do I do this?
Let me hit stop sharing this screen first. There we go.
I got to get past the ad. This is the greatest 911 call you're ever going to hear.
Okay.
So now I got what? Share the screen first?
Yep, share screen.
You think I would know how to do this? You're into this.
Well, you don't do it very often. I usually do it.
Share that.
Hello? I had a boa constrictor stuck to my face. Have you have a what? Boa constrictor. I'm outside with it. You're outside with a boa constrictor stuck to your face? Yes. Okay. I just rescued it yesterday, please. How big of a snake are we talking, ma'am? It's like 5.5 feet. I've notified the ambulance and the police department. So the boa constrictor has a hold of your nose? Yes. Can you pry its jaw open if you pinch its jaw? No, I'm trying. There's blood everywhere.
There's other parts to it. I don't know if it's on here. No. But she just keeps yelling about her snake being stuck to her face.
Why didn't she just get a knife herself and cut it off? Just
Well, I don't know what you
throw
do
it on
when
the
a boa
counter
is
and
stuck to your
slash it.
face.
Get a knife and you cut that son of a bitch in half. Hack it in the face, whatever you got to do. I mean, you could die from that, couldn't you? Don't they have poison?
No, boas don't. Boas are
I don't know
not
anything about
snakes.
snakes. The only thing I know about snakes is when they used to pop up on me when I was cutting my grass as a kid, I'd run them right the fuck over.
See, I don't have any love for snakes. You can do whatever you want to snakes.
Yeah, I don't like snakes. I don't like any animals, really. Any of them. They're all fucking creepy.
I like dogs, but I don't necessarily.
What about cats?
I have 2 cats,
My son
and
has
I
a
think
cat.
they're like the greatest. Well, no, okay. Well, cats are kind of shitty. Like they're very like emotional, and they're moody. Like we have a cat. She's like 11 or 12 years old, and in human years she's 60, and so
Okay.
she's just a mean old snobby bitch sometimes. But she's other times she's a great cat. And then we have another one who's just afraid of her own shadow. But we've rescued all of our pets. Like the dog that we have, the dog that you put up on the screen.
Yeah.
There was a guy in Lakewood back in like November, December. And people might remember the story. This guy in like Lakewood was hoarding 41 beagles.
Jeez.
Like he had literally 41 of them sitting around his house and outside, and there was shit everywhere, all over him, all over the house and everything. And so he wasn't taking care of these dogs. And finally somebody busted him, and this particular dog went to a shelter out in Elyria, and we went out there just looking at the animals. And as soon as I saw her, she came right up to the glass, started sniffing at me and licking my hand, and she was like, I fell in love with her like immediately. She was like the best thing. And when I got her home, she was really great to have around the house for me, because wheeling around her with one leg, she was always by my side. And so she was, not only did I save her, but she kind of saved me in a way. And it was fantastic. The cats, they're what they are.
Yeah, they're
of the house.
a cat is like a throw rug. It just sits there and does nothing.
And then they shit over. I also have a tortoise.
See, I couldn't have all these things. Dude, one time when my daughter still lived here, she went on like a vacation for a week, and she asked me to feed her fish. She came back and every fish in the fucking tank was dead. Because I forgot to feed the fish. Because I don't.
What?
I'm not a pet guy. I don't think about pets.
See, I want like a fish tank. I would love to have a fish tank around this house. I'm worried that the cats or somebody's gonna like knock it over. But yeah, we have a tortoise in a tank here, and so she's she's not huge. She's like about that big, and just kind of roams back and forth, and we take her out sometimes, and then.
And what do you do when you take out how big is it?
Maybe like that big.
What do you do? Take it outside and watch it crawl like 3 feet an hour?
Yeah, I mean it doesn't do a lot. It eats vegetables and lettuce and stuff. But I'll tell you this, and I'm not joking. You're gonna think I'm fucking nuts, but I'm not.
All right.
This tortoise knows, like what I've read and everything. The tortoises recognize voices and stuff, and so when we call her, she comes out of her little hut and she looks around and she stares at you and you say hi to her, and you can pet her shell and stuff like that. They like having like a toothbrush rubbed over their shell because it feels like you're scratching your back and stuff. I mean, they're really kind of cool.
And that and that's worth the hassle of cleaning a tank and feeding this stupid thing and taking care of it and all that other stuff. So it'll come out and stare at you for 3 seconds.
But again, we rescue animals. So the person that had this tortoise was going to get rid of it. And instead of being let outside to roam and God only knows what would happen to it, we decided to take it in and make it our own. And then, of course, politically incorrect mechanic has to weigh in, look at him. Can't take care of himself, let alone.
That's right. I admit that. I openly admit that. There's no way I would have a pet because I barely get by taking care of myself.
But you have children.
Yeah.
Children are a lot more work and less hassle. And you know what? Pets show you more love than kids do sometimes.
I had a wife.
I
had a wife.
Being a father.
Yeah. No, I wasn't the best father. I'll admit it. I worked. Me and my ex had a sound deal, which was the kid dealings, her problem. Me making the money. I kept the roof, she kept the house. It was that kind of a deal. And she never worked. She never worked when we were married, up until like the last year. That she started banging her boss, but that's a whole nother thing.
That's a whole other.
When it came to the day-to-day stuff, with homework and all that stuff, I wasn't that guy.
This house is like Dr. Doolittle. We have like a cat. Oh, we have 2 cats, a dog, and a tortoise just roaming around the house. But I would love a fish tank, like a nice big fish tank with like cool stuff inside. And fish tanks, you can make it so they're fairly. You can get automatic feeders for fish and stuff like that. You can get fish suckers that clean the tank, and so I mean it's stuff that you can do that fish are relatively low maintenance. Now fish don't provide any kind of joy as far as love that they give back to you, but they provide entertainment as far as looking at them.
I'd just as soon put up a screensaver somewhere with a fish swimming around. That's just as good as having a fish.
You see how good I do with internet. I think I'm better off taking care of actual live fish than a computer screen.
Yeah, probably true.
Now Rick is making fun of me. Chris, it's the only thing he can outrun. All right. I've seen you, Rick. You're not exactly, a freaking track runner here. Rick is going to make fun of me.
Yeah, we're taking a beating. It's all right.
That's fine. Look at this. Should take a beating.
Yeah, it's fine with me.
Speaking of taking a beating.
If I got to take a beating because I don't like pets, then so be it, because I'm not going to change my stance on pets.
Speaking of taking a beating, the Browns yesterday.
They didn't take a beating. They had a historic level beating that they laid on the Cardinals. A shit team, but they still laid a historic beating on them.
You beat a team that sucks. A guy named Clayton Tune was the quarterback.
Dude, again, I'm not saying
you should.
I'm not celebrating like they won the Super Bowl here.
You should have been able to put our third string out there and beat that team.
What I'm saying is total yards that another NFL team scored was under 100. That is ridiculous. 58 total yards is what the Cardinals got yesterday. 58 total yards. That is, say what you will about anything else, and we can talk about Watson and all that other stuff. You cannot say, I don't care how bad this Cardinals team is. They got held to like a high school team playing a pro team numbers. A high school team would get 58 yards.
Now, your boy, our dog pound details expert.
Yes.
John Drake Bloomdoggy was on Facebook today saying, "Oh, well, Watson was really good, and if we keep seeing a Watson like this, and we're going to be a great team, and it's Super Bowl time." And blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, I saw that.
Watson is terrible.
It's not terrible. See, you're going too far the other way. He's, it's weird. Statistically, he's playing okay. But watching him?
Watching him, he looks like us out there.
Yeah, yesterday I'm looking at the stats right now. It's not like I know these. I pulled them up because I knew we were going to talk about this. Yesterday, Watson was 19 for 30, 219 yards, 2 touchdowns, no picks. That's a decent game.
Against a bad football team.
Against a really bad team, which doesn't leave me thinking,
if
he's back or whatever. I'm not thinking that at all.
Look, if they were playing the Ravens yesterday, they get beat by 40.
Well, I don't know about all that because again, the Browns defense, admittedly with a bad team, but they gave up 58 yards to an NFL team. So put a good team there, multiply it by 4, and you're still having a good game. If they give up 4 times what they gave up yesterday, that's still about, 250 yards?
Baker.
That would beat most teams.
This is a correct statement. Baker outplayed the $50 million man.
Yeah, how'd he do? Oh, that's right, he lost.
They lost, but not because of him.
They lost. He didn't play good enough.
He went down and drove that team to a game-winning touchdown, but then the defense blew it.
So then ultimately what you're saying is C.J. Stroud is the fucking MVP of the league.
C.J. Stroud has actually looked pretty damn good.
He has looked good. He looked great. He looked great yesterday.
I absolutely wish we had that guy over what we have.
He's our guy's replacement for the Texans.
I know. And it seems like that kid's actually got a good head on his shoulders on top of everything else.
Yeah, he does seem like he's pretty grounded, but yeah, I got nothing bad to say against C.J. Stroud. He's looked like an all-pro, and he's 10 games in now, so I don't think it's a fluke.
This is the best and truest text of the day.
Mm-hmm.
Yesterday was getting laid by a fat chick.
Yeah. They need love too.
You still got some,
Yeah.
but it wasn't exactly satisfying.
Yeah, that would be satisfying. If we're putting it into Deshaun Watson world, at least he got to come.
Wow.
It's good.
Big test this week. Yeah.
Who we got this week?
I think it's the Ravens, isn't it?
Is it the Ravens? I don't know. I haven't looked past yesterday. I'm gonna be honest, I fell asleep during the game yesterday a little bit. It was a very boring game.
Yeah, Browns Ravens this Sunday at noon at 1
Mm-hmm.
in Baltimore.
That's not good.
I feel bad for politically incorrect mechanic tuning in now because I know he doesn't care about the Browns or anything else, and he missed a full hour of us talking about issue 1, which he has done videos on, YouTube videos on, all kind of different things. If you don't know Charlie from Charlie's Auto Repair in Lakewood,
right?
He is an extremely good guy, family guy, conservative guy, and really pushing no on issue 1, and rightfully so. And he's done his best to put stuff out there, messages to people, whether it's on Facebook or YouTube, and it's been very good. And I'm telling you right now, if you want to get your car fixed, go to a guy like that, because a guy like that's going to take care of you without screwing you over, because he actually has morals and values. On top of that, he is a gun-carrying son of a gun, too.
I like that.
We'll put it, like that gun you have next to you, I guarantee he'll walk the streets with his, too.
Really?
Yes, that size. Yep.
This one?
Yep. So he is that's a guy to take your car to, because he takes care of
And just go in there and tell him that you hate abortion. Maybe you get a discount.
You might, actually. If you vote no on issue 1, you don't know what he's going to do for you.
Yeah. He'll abort whatever's ailing your engine.
Yes, he will.
Yeah, I don't know. Dude, is it possible, going back to the Browns, is it possible to watch a game and not get anything out of it? Because that's kind of how I feel about this game. It's like, you can't really... You have to give the defense credit because they shut down an NFL team.
It was historic.
Regardless of how shitty they are, they're still an NFL team.
And it was a historic win.
So on that level, you give the defense credit. But for everything else, I mean, do we really feel like Watson did anything? Or do we feel like Amari Cooper is now back because he had 140 yards or whatever he had yesterday?
No.
I don't. I mean, it was against a shit team.
Yeah, you have to see what happens this coming week. I mean, you really do.
Yeah.
This is, Gunnar said it right. I mean, it's a big test, but this is to see how you rank against some of the better teams.
Some of the better teams, yeah.
I mean, today I was kind of flipping through the channels before I came up, going from Fox to ESPN, just going through stuff before I came up here. And Fox was in a commercial, so ESPN was talking about, do you think that the AFC North could put all 5 teams, what do they have? Steelers?
They got 4.
Eagles, all 4 teams go to the playoffs.
No. That won't happen. Because which division are you going to say isn't going to get anybody other than their champion? The West with San Diego or not San Diego? What are they now? Los Angeles? I can't even keep track of that shit.
I'm looking up the AFC standings. Chiefs, Ravens, Jaguars. I want to see like the divisions. All right, AFC East. You got the Dolphins. They'll make it in because they're going to win the division. I don't see the Jets. Bills, I mean, maybe have an outside shot. I don't see the Jets doing much. Patriots are done for.
Jets are 5-3.
Well, I mean, look at this. I mean, Chiefs. In the West, you got the Chiefs, the Raiders, the Chargers, the Broncos. Really, the Chiefs are going to run away with that. You're not going to get – the Raiders are 4-5 in second place.
The Chargers are probably still going to make it. I don't know what their record is, but
3-4.
That don't matter. They're a better team than that.
I think they play tonight, don't they? I think. The North, everybody has a winning record. Ravens, Steelers, Browns, Bengals. 7-2 for the Ravens. Everybody else is 5-3.
Yeah.
Jaguars in the South run away 6-2. Texans are 4-4. I mean, I know it's early still, but it's not really. It's halfway through the season.
It's halfway through. I have a hard time thinking all 4 teams are going. Somebody's, because we all they all got to play each other again too. So somebody's going to get whooped up on. Probably the Steelers, if I had to guess, because their team, I do not get how they keep winning. I watched that Titans game the other night, and that is a shitty team that won the game anyway. They're bad.
Their offense is terrible.
I mean, they're bad. Defense is good. They're kind of like the Browns. Similar, except that they didn't pay Kenny Pickett $300 million or whatever.
Yeah. And I don't even know that he's a bad quarterback, but he's not getting, he's no Ben Roethlisberger.
Yeah, no, not at all. Well, they both rape.
Wow.
Oh, no, I guess Pickett doesn't. That's our guy. That's our guy.
PR move, Chris. Everyone gets in. Never happened.
I just don't see every one of our teams getting in. The weirdest thing is I could still see the Browns finishing last in the division.
Oh, yeah, easily.
Couple of losses to... I don't think so, though, because they're past the tough part of the schedule now. I mean, and again, I don't count anything until I see it, but they do have allegedly an easier schedule than the other 3 teams. But
well, you got the Ravens this coming week. I see that.
This is like the last hard game, I think.
No, then you got the Steelers the following week.
Steelers, they should beat.
That's at home. Broncos, that's a winnable game. The Rams is a winnable game. The Jaguars have been playing good ball.
Jags is a tough game.
The Bears.
That's a win.
That's a win. The Texans, they've been playing good ball. That's in Texas.
Yeah, that's a tougher game than it looked like at the beginning of the year.
The Jets, that's not a slouch anymore. Yeah. And then the Bengals to wrap up the season. And the Bengals have been playing better football too.
The Bengals are going to win the whole division. The Bengals might go back to the Super Bowl. And I know it's a little early to say that, but...
Yeah, but they're catching fire.
I watched that game last night, and I just was like, man, they absolutely schooled the Bills. And the Bills are a good team.
Yeah,
the Bills are a pretty good team, and they looked Bush League compared to Cincy last night. And I hate saying that because I hate the fucking Bengals, but yeah, they looked pretty good last night.
Everybody kept making a big deal about DeMar Hamlin, the Bills,
yeah,
Bengals. Well,
yeah, look at that
last night.
Yeah, he stood there. He stood there with his mask on, so you couldn't see if it was really him or not.
Ridiculous.
Yeah, enough with DeMar Hamlin.
Isn't it weird to look outside right now when it's dark?
I know, it's like pitch black, right? It's like time for bed.
I was driving around last night. It was like 7 o'clock, and I'm going, oh my God, it's like 9.
Mm-hmm.
It's like 10. It's time to go to sleep yet.
Can we stop this nonsense with the time change?
You're not a daylight savings fan? Not me either.
I'm not. I don't even mind this one so much, but I hate the other one.
Why?
Because it just screws up your sleep for a week. This one's okay because you gain the extra hour. So it just feels like you can lay in bed a little bit. Like yesterday, it felt like I could lay in bed just a little bit longer.
Yeah, but don't you hate it being dark so early?
I don't care.
I mean, you don't go anywhere.
I don't go anywhere, so I don't give a shit. But I don't like losing an hour on a Saturday or on a Sunday. I hate having one less hour off. That part sucks.
I don't like looking outside and going, "Oh my God, man, it's like 5
yeah." No, this 4:30 getting dark sucks.
It's like pitch black out there.
Can't we just have one time? Just make it one time. Why can't we just have a universal time? It's 5:30 everywhere, 5:40 everywhere in the world right now. Wouldn't that make it so much easier?
Yeah, just make a universal time.
Yeah, just say, hey, this is going to be on at 5:30. Period.
First hour summed up is Seth don't like abortion weed. Chris likes abortion weed.
There you go. Perfect.
We didn't need to talk. Why do we?
That's right. Should have just had Brian write up our one sheet for us.
And we kicked somebody off the show for the first time ever.
That's right. I may unban him. I don't know.
Used to be for the farmers. I think it started World War II.
Yeah, okay. Well, that was a little while ago. I mean, at this point, somebody in the Ukraine can hear us talking about them. So I don't think we need to have a different time zone.
Yeah, it's a little bit different now. Things are a tad bit different.
Everything's different now. And maybe not for the better.
None of it's for the better.
Yeah, I was going to say, not a damn thing. Not a damn thing is for the better.
I went to go look at cell phones yesterday because mine isn't acting the way that I think it should be. It's a little bit slow. And I feel like a dick saying that my phone that I have in my pocket that I use now that doesn't have a cord attached to it and can use as a computer and like porn on isn't running the way that I would want it to run.
Right.
But it's ridiculous what these things are costing anymore. I mean,
I know they're so expensive. If you don't use it all the time, like for me, like I have a iPhone 14 Max, Pro Max, and it cost me I think $1,300 or some stupid amount of money, but I use my phone every single day, like all day. I don't know. Do you have an iPhone or Android?
iPhone.
You know how you get that thing on your iPhone devices that tells you your usage every week?
Yes.
I get mine and it says you're up or you're down, and my average talk time is like 9 hours. And it's like, it's like 9 hours. So I got to have a good phone. I can't have some generic cheap flip phone. I got to have a good phone to do that and do all my processing and email reading and everything else on my phone.
Yeah.
So for me, it makes sense. But like my guy Neely that I do Classic Metal Show with,
Yeah.
he doesn't even have a single app on his phone. But he's got like an iPhone. He just bought a new iPhone, like an iPhone 13 or 14 or something. And it's like, dude, what are you doing? He's a guy that could probably buy an iPhone 8 and just run it to death.
Poll, Android or iPhone?
iPhone by a million miles.
Text in now, iPhone or Android. I had an Android to start, and I didn't realize how great it was. Because now that I have an iPhone, I sit there and go, why did I do this? When I had an Android, I could pick my ringtones. I didn't have to pay for them. I got them from Verizon and all that kind of stuff. Now they have the Galaxy Notes with a little pencil and all kind of fun stuff. This iPhone is garbage to me.
Ugh. I had a Note.
Sucked into the world of Apple that I can never get rid of this thing.
I had a Note. I had a Note, the Note 10, Samsung Note 10. It's the only time I went to Android. I hated this phone so bad.
Why?
Because it just didn't work right. And it always had problems dropping calls. And I kept taking it back up to the store and they kept saying, no, it's not. It's where you're at. It's not. And I was like, I'm in my fucking house. It's the only place I am. It's the only place I need it to work is in my house. And if it doesn't work in my house, it's a useless utensil to me. And I just don't have that problem with the iPhone. But yeah, I ended up paying for it. I bought another phone and paid out like $1,000 that I still owed on it. Because I just was like, no, I can't have this terrible phone anymore. And I got rid of it.
I got sucked into the world of Apple, and you can't get out of it. Like, if I switch now, I'm going to lose every contact, everything that I have.
You can export all that stuff.
Everything. I'm going to lose my phone number. It'll suck ass. And
why would you lose your phone number?
Because Apple controls your life.
No, they don't. I've switched phones before. I kept my phone number. Do you have an iPad too? Do you do the iPad thing?
My
too?
wife has an iPad. I lost my iPad to her. So.
Do you have your phone and everything through it? Like, do you get email or texts and stuff through your iPad?
No.
See, I'm like really into the i world because like the computer in front of me right now is an iMac, and I have Apple TV in the bedroom, and I have an iPhone here, and I have an iPad, and I have all of it integrated to everything else. Like Apple TV just set up that I could do FaceTime on my Apple TV. So if I get a FaceTime call, I could do it on my TV.
Yeah, see, I want that.
Yeah, I don't know.
That costs a lot of extra money.
No, that's part of the program. That's free. Apple TV you got to have. You got to have an Apple TV device, which is not cheap, but
what's an Apple TV device? Like an Apple TV, or is it just?
Well, it's like a Roku. It's like a Roku or a Fire Stick or whatever.
Yeah.
It's just theirs. It's a little black square, but it's like $200.
Really?
Yeah.
Is it worth it though?
Yep. It is the bomb. All the other stuff, the Roku, the Fire Stick, they all fail. If for no other reason than the Apple comes with a giant hard drive.
But I'm assuming then that you get the Apple TV device, which is going to cost you $200. Then I'm assuming everything that you want to do, as far as getting movies or music or FaceTime, whatever it is going to be an extra added expense.
Well, yeah, it's the same as it would be with a Roku or anything else. It's you want Netflix, you pay for it. You want Peacock, you pay for it. All that stuff.
Can I get an Apple TV in addition to having a Roku and all that kind of stuff?
Oh yeah, I also have in the bedroom. I have two things plugged in. I have a Apple TV and I have a Fire Stick. But I only use the Fire Stick for when I'm doing programming and I'm testing stuff.
Because like outside my living room TV is Roku. What's a TCL, which has Roku on it?
Yeah, Roku's built in. Sure.
And so then I get all the Netflix and all that junk that I download onto there. And then my TV in my bedroom is an Amazon Fire TV. So it automatically, I don't need a Fire Stick. I just have the TV is an Amazon Fire product. And so that I get all the Amazon shit with that.
Sure.
And I have Prime, so I can get Prime through my TV there with no problem. But the Apple stuff I've looked at, I think that the Apple TV would be kind of fun and kind of cool to have. But so I could use that on any of the devices that I already have.
Yeah,
what added features is it going to give me though that I don't already have?
Space. Where with and you may not even run into it, but I'm a dork. For a Roku or for a Apple or for a Roku or for an Amazon, you can have about 20, maybe 25 channels installed, like apps installed, and then you'll start having problems with your device disconnecting and stuff because there's not enough hard drive space to run it.
Yeah.
The cheap version of the Apple TV, the one's like $139 or something, comes with a 64 gig hard drive where, like, by comparison, a Roku has an 8 gig hard drive, and probably a quarter of that is taken up by the operating system. So you get like 6 gig total. So you can install. I have hundreds of channels on my Apple, just literally hundreds.
Huh. You have cable too?
What's that?
You have cable also?
No, absolutely not. No, I cut the cable like 10, 11 years ago.
How do you get your local TV station?
I have YouTube TV.
Is that easy to navigate, easy to use?
That's great to use. It's just costly. Well, but you have regular cable, right? What's your cable bill?
I have Cox cable and I'm paying $287 a month.
Oh, fuck that. Dude, Roku, even YouTube TV is probably the most expensive of the bunch, or it's right up there at the top at like $75 a month. But the thing with it, what I think,
but I also get my internet through my Cox cable.
Well, you would still keep your internet, but your TV portion is probably 150 of that. You would get all your local channels through YouTube TV. But the biggest perk to it is unlimited DVR, which is fantastic.
I don't have that through Cox cable.
So literally, you could just go through and pick anything that you watch. Anything that you watch. Oh, you like NCIS? Add it to your watch list, and anytime it airs anywhere, it'll go onto your it'll go into your DVR, and you watch whenever the hell you want.
Now, Cox cable is the only cable that's available in this area.
Mm-hmm.
But if I got rid of the cable itself and wanted to just get internet, can I get any internet company to come out here and put stuff in, or does it have to be available here also?
Well, it has to be available there, but you could get even.
But I'm asking, is there going to be more options probably to get internet than there is the cable? There
might be. I mean, Windstream, you could call Windstream and see if they offer in your area.
They didn't the last time I checked.
I'm a converted. I had what did I have? I forget what we have out here. Comcast? No, not Comcast. Whatever used to be Adelphia. Whatever that is. Spectrum.
Yeah.
I had Spectrum for years. And then when they came with the fiber, I was all over the fiber. And it's cheaper. I pay $100 a month for fiber. And I mean, it's 100 times faster than what you have. Literally 100 times faster.
Literally, my internet, obviously, we know that it sucks.
Yeah.
It's like, I would love to get something like a YouTube TV or something like that that would be good to get local channels, DVR. I get a DVR with that, right?
Yeah,
DVR,
you get unlimited
no matter what.
DVR. You get your local channels. You get about, I think it's like 75 or 80 channels. Dude, if you cut the cable, pure just straight out cut the cable, I could show you between YouTube TV and some of the other stuff a way that you would never not have something to watch. And you could, dude, these free, and you're aware of this because you work with Bob, the fast channels,
Yeah.
that is legit, man. Like Pluto TV has 270 some channels.
Yeah.
Plex has 300 channels. Zumo has 200 or 300 channels. Roku has 200 channels. You know. And to answer this question, can Seth's internet handle it? Probably. Doing this show takes way more internet than watching TV. There's a difference. And if you want the tech answer, I can give it to you. When you're streaming, like Seth is doing here, you're using your upload. When you're watching TV, you're using your download. When you test your internet speed, like when you run like Ookla or speedtest.net or whatever,
Yeah.
you get two scores. One is like 300 and one is like 20, right?
Yeah.
The 300 is your download speed. That's what your Roku is playing video with. 300's plenty. You need about 20. Upload speed is what you need to stream. Your streaming uses about between 6 and 10, and your internet provides about 20. So you're using about half of your upload bandwidth to stream.
If I did a speed test right now while we're on this, is it going to screw up my internet?
Yep. Yeah, because it's going to take over your shit.
Because I wanted to see what I'm
And plus it wouldn't be an accurate speed test because you know that you're uploading. You're uploading the video right now.
I got to figure out something because the cable bill is just ridiculous.
Well, dude, I'm telling you,
I thought that I had called Cox. I hate saying even the word Cox, but I thought I had called them and they said that my internet was going to be
probably about $100
or even a little bit more, but I'm paying $287. And then when I add whatever I was going to add, it was going to be almost comparable to what I'm paying now for the cable.
Nah. Dude, the bottom line is you're going to pay $100 for your cable. You spend 70 more for YouTube TV and you're there. And then you find buddies like, you become my brother and then you have Peacock and then you little things like that. You do the trading where it makes sense. So
all right, well, I need to do something because it's ridiculous what I'm paying per
yeah.
month.
Well, I'll put it this way, man. I have everything under the sun and I pay less than you do. I have YouTube TV, I have Paramount Plus and Showtime, HBO, Hulu, Peacock. I pay for all of those. And with all of those and my internet, I pay less than you by a lot. Jeez. I probably pay about $100 less than you do.
Is Seth saying he doesn't like Cox anymore?
I don't think he's saying that.
I'm saying that I might have to give up Cox.
What?
I might have to just cut Cox out of my life. It might pain me to do so. But Cox may be gone from me for quite some time.
Not gonna be using those Cox anymore.
My wife is going to be very disappointed. No more Cox for her either. Although that's been quite a while anyways.
Poor Staples girl.
All right, let's end the show with the Staples girl.
All right.
Thanks everybody for listening tonight. Thank you, Chris, as usual.
Sure.
Fun times. Vote tomorrow. Whatever you do.
Yeah.
I hope you vote no on issue 1. I don't care what the hell you do. Smoke your weed. Enjoy it. Whatever. And have yourself a great night. Well, God willing, talk to you on Wednesday.
See ya. See ya.
Oh my God. Staples actually sells staples.